Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about successful study habits. The purpose of my speech is to inform and educate peers about effective study skills. The visual aids I've included for today are flashcards, books, clock, and the environment. Learners must develop good study habits to become successful graduates and successful in life. Learners must also learn to read, take good notes, and summarize lessons. Reading is fundamental. So, to minimize failure, one must develop good study habits to become successful. Organizing, avoiding cramming, managing your time, using mnemonics, thinking positive, developing study groups, planning, and preparing are all parts of preparing to learn. Plays a big part in preparation. So let's get motivated and organized to learn. The general purpose of this speech, as I said before, is to educate my peers about effective study habits. A lot of people don't like Wikipedia, but I've compared it to your dictionary. So Wikipedia defines study skills as paths applied to learning. They are an array of skills which tackle the process of organizing and taking in new information, retaining the information, or dealing with assessments. Now, your dictionary defines study habits as behaviors used when preparing for tests or learning academic material. Mnemonics, like taking notes, using flashcards, remembering the first letters of words from reading materials, or rhyming words are very effective study tools. I'm sorry. Positive thinking, developing study groups, planning and preparing also are proven to be effective. Now let's talk about how do we study? What do we study? What steps do we take to prepare to study? When to study, where to study, and let's look at all of those and compare. When you study, don't try to study for long periods of time. Always try to designate a specific time of the day to study. Stop and take breaks, and this gives your mind a break. Therefore, you won't become overwhelmed and forget everything that you have studied. Oxford Learning Center advises students to take 10 to 15-minute breaks for every 30 minutes of study. You should study at a desk in a well lighted area and make sure the area is quiet. Jot down notes, highlight keywords, make an outline. This organizes and simplifies your material. All of these things aid in remembering what you have received better. Good note taking, organization of material, giving yourself time to study what you have read without cramming are all great preparation tools for success. The result of good study habits is success. Good study habits equal good academic performance. The more organized your study skills become, the less time you will need to study. I remember thinking in nursing school that I didn't have to study for a test on the cardiovascular system. Well, that test almost got me kicked out of school. That was the first test I'd ever failed. I cried and I cried. I thought I was going to have to start over. So, my point is never think that you don't have to study the material you're given. So, if you study well, and because you have studied well, we will increase our confidence, reduce our anxiety, think more positive, and have a success in school and have great success in school. Now, we were asked to reflect on the results of our study habits in this essay. I think I did well on my essay. I talked about all the points that I turned in for my outline. I do agree with the results of my professional apprehension report. I do realize that I have communication apprehension. I try to work on this as much as possible, but sometimes it gets overwhelming. Different ways I can reduce communication apprehension is key in on people in the audience and forget about self. I can imagine that I'm speaking to my family member. I could also think positive. So, in conclusion, read, take good notes, outline, organize, give yourself time to study, think positive, develop a study group. Whatever works for you, do that. We must have good study habits to become successful graduates and successful in life. Thank you.